Hello, I'm Bruce Lorincz, and this show's called Bruce on the Loose. We're here at Destination Playground, a new addition for the kids in Wadsworth. And Mayor, I'm on
Pretty
some sponge.
cushy.
Yeah, I wish I had this at third base at Northwestern High School, so bad hops wouldn't get off my chest and arms, etc. You have to be really on cloud nine with and this just didn't happen overnight. Tell us about the planning for Destination Playground.
Oh my goodness, it's been a long time in the planning. Obviously, this close to this site was basically Kaleidoscope Playground, and it had served us well for 29 years.
And I guess you had something to do with
A
that.
little something, myself and Pam Chester and
Okay.
1,000 other
Right.
individuals in the community. But it has served us well, and so we knew that we needed to replace it. But how do we replace it? What do we replace it with? And of course, we wanted to have something grand because Kaleidoscope was grand, and so we knew that this wanted to be something along the lines of being a destination place, a destination playground. So that was the thought, but certainly we needed consultants along the way and input from the community to be able to get to this point, and that's exactly what has happened. We had a wonderful focus group of mothers that and parents that could tell us a little bit about what some of their kids like to play on, some of the interesting concerns. The theme here came out with the matchsticks came out of that, and all sorts of things. And so it's been quite a process, but it's wonderful to be here. And of course, along the way, we needed to work with City Council because we want to make sure that everybody was convinced that this is the great thing to do.
Destination Playground isn't our final name for this. I think we're including the community.
Yes.
They can help with the name.
Yes. We actually have a survey out right now. We had 3 different names that could kind of spark some interest and spark some ideas. All of them had a matchstick or blue tip type theme. And then we also gave opportunity for individuals to list ideas of their own. And so that survey is out right now, and we'll see what kind of comes back from that and make some decisions after that.
Really, you talked about mothers. Certainly the mothers, they bring their children here and there's a little conversation. They really get together and the kids play and really we're getting outside and that's a good thing, isn't it?
It is a great thing. I remember fondly those years when I had my little ones and recognized that social aspect, but also the importance of being able to get outside of play. And it's wonderful to see a kid discover and play outside. Some of these features seem very simple, but a kid can just play all day on a simple block or that one of those little bamboo things that you can write up on. It's amazing what a kid can do, and they just use their imagination and enjoy being outside.
I remember swings and merry-go-rounds were really about the only things that we had during early years, but a lot of people have studied this and really want to get kids active and playing with friends.
You bet. It's a wonderful place, and especially with it being so large, we have the ability to have so many wonderful features. We have features that are geared towards different age groups, and so everybody will be able to enjoy it, all different ages of kids, and also different abilities. We have individuals that maybe were not able to enjoy playing on a playground as much previously because they didn't have the access to it. So you'll notice throughout the playground, actually there's one right here, real close to us, which is it's called a WeGo swing, but it's a apparatus so that an individual in a wheelchair would be able to enjoy it. And obviously we're on this very nice, cushy, smooth surface that a wheelchair is able to roll on. And so really this whole playground area is able to be accessed as far as the ground levels, but you'll see paths that go up into some of the apparatus. And so it's really a wonderful opportunity to be able to accommodate all ages, but also all abilities.
Years before, we probably would have forgotten the handicapped. Now, through education, through having people with those handicaps, we now accommodate for them.
You bet. It's very important to do that, and we're excited to be able to bring that in this wonderful playground.
How much larger? I mean, we're here on the edge with the little shade. It seems a lot bigger than Kaleidoscope.
Yeah, it's a
Am I,
little
am I,
bigger. It's a little bigger, and it's a little more spread out. And that was one of the things that we heard from parents is that with Kaleidoscope, sometimes you would lose track of kids because it was condensed and the wood structures, they would go up into them. But this is very open, and so parents are going to be able to utilize and see their children a lot better.
You know, Wadsworth is really known for collaboration. You talked about council being apprised of what's going on, and your study group. Really, a lot of things are done collectively. It's just not you have only the ideas. Other people have good ideas to put forward.
Oh, certainly. No, it has been a wonderful collaborative effort, and I am truly grateful to council because they saw the vision in this. They recognized the importance of the community that this would provide. And in fact, we changed things a little bit. We'll talk about this probably a little bit later, but outside of this is going to be a splash pad. And we were looking at that maybe being next year. But council recognized, they said, you know what, we're going to be tearing up this area. Why don't we just go ahead and get that going now this year? And so we made those decisions based upon some of their input, and I'm very grateful for that because we're, as I said, I told people it's kind of a war zone over there right now, but it's going to look really good really fast, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, we were very thankful that the construction got along, and we could do the show today. And also within stone's throw, if you have a pretty good arm, Safety Town.
Yes,
Safety
yes.
Town is here, and the
Yes.
more we did a show with Matt Hiscock the other day, and those are pretty close in vicinity.
Yes, and this whole area, I'm going to say, is going to become a destination area because of the proximity of those things. So not only we have the playground, but we're going to have the splash pad. You mentioned Safety Town. We're going to be building a walkway to Safety Town from this destination playground. And in fact, we've saved some pieces from Kaleidoscope as a nod to our history of Kaleidoscope as we go to the Safety Town area. And so, and of course, it's connected to the courts, the new pickleball and tennis courts that are going to be here. So, yeah, it's going to be a wonderful, all-inclusive area.
Speaking of pickleball and basketball and certainly other courts, tennis courts, you were the other day opened up those 4 beautiful courts at Durling Park. Can you comment about that, and how did that make you feel?
Oh my goodness, we were so excited to get to that point. We've heard from some time, especially our pickleball players, that we really wanted to have a designated area for pickleball. We've heard from our tennis court people. They said, you know what, our tennis courts have seen better days, and we really need to have better facilities. And so we've had that on our radar for a long time. And so when we did the park master plan, it kind of came out as far as how many we should have and also as far as where we would designate those. So we end up actually putting the tennis courts and pickleball courts in the areas that we already had tennis courts. And so it worked out well. But actually the ones here in Memorial are not too far behind the Durling Park ones. We just had the ribbon cutting last week for Durling Park. This one's not far behind. Just a little bit of work yet.
And also, we're taking on a big project, the former Brickyard,
Yes.
94 South, but that's going to be several years in advance to go ahead and see that's through fruition.
Yes, it will be several phases, but I will tell you, our hope is, and we're in conversations now, and we'll go through the budget process to make sure what actually does get accomplished next year, but we're hoping to do some design work and actually get started on some of the improvements in that area next year. But that is going to be a beautiful, wonderful addition to our park system. It's over 200 acres of property, and that northern part is going to be the ball fields and other, let's say, active athletic type of opportunities. The southern portion is going to be more the trails and bike trails and walking paths and running paths, that sort of thing.
So you're not leaving anyone out. You have
No,
you're
fishing's
thinking of
included.
everyone.
We got some lakes there, so
Yeah,
fishing
wow,
gets in there too.
wow, that's
so,
great. And
yeah.
of course they'll have to realistically have their catch. It won't be
Yes.
6 feet. It'll be a little smaller than that possibly.
Yeah.
The city really doesn't stand pat. You're always looking forward. And how many years have you been mayor?
I'm in my 17th year.
Yeah, congratulations. And I think you have another term coming up.
Well, this is the beginning of my
Okay.
the term that we just started.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of changes. A lot of people have come. And what I really appreciate about Wadsworth, we have slow, steady growth. It's not like we have 6 or 7%. We have like maybe 2.5. If you've advised me in the past, and it's controllable.
Yeah. Over the last, I'm going to say 20 years, if you look at it, it has been a nice, slow, steady pace. I think in the last census, it looked like in this last 10 years, 1.5% growth each year, which is very manageable. You don't want it too fast because you can't keep up with the utilities and keeping up with, things like parks, keeping up with that sort of thing. So it's been a nice, steady growth.
And Wadsworth, really, the city and the surrounding community, you go to the dog park on West Street, and I said, where are you from? Oh, Doylestown.
Sure.
I'm from Seville. Same with the Suprema YMCA.
Yeah.
We have facilities here that we attract people from other townships and other villages.
Yeah, it's wonderful because obviously those individuals come, they enjoy Wadsworth, and often they're shopping, they're going to eat here, they're going to shop here, so it works out good for us.
So who have really, you work hand in hand with these projects? I know you have only a couple appointees.
Sure.
Can you tell me about those individuals and how they've assisted you?
You bet, you bet. Well, and I will say they've been the ones that have been taking the ball and running with it. And the first person I would mention is Matt Hiscock. So Matt is our safety director, but he also has a double hat right now. He is also the service director as our interim service director. And so with those two hats, he's got plenty to do already, but he is leading the charge on making sure that these projects that we had in the pipeline, that they come to fruition. He has some individuals that are in his, on either side. We have John Bellick, who is our assistant service director, as well as Mike Testa, who is another assistant service director. So those two are just, have been leading the charge and helping us as well. Of course, we deal and have been utilizing consultants along the way, and so they've been very helpful. But I will also say our departments have been very, very instrumental. Our parks department, street department, our electric department, because we have so many services, we can rely upon our expertise of our departments that help in certain aspects of these projects.
Speaking of service, I kind of go around town dodging trucks up on poles, putting in fiber.
Yes.
That's another exciting. Talk about Mike Testa. He's involved in that,
Mike
and
is
the fiber optics is really going well with pretty good weather we've having.
Yeah, we really have. They've actually been doing quite well with getting the, let's say, on schedule as far as making sure that we're getting that fiber in. It's not an overnight process. We have a large community and outside of our community, and so it's going to take some time, but they are moving along as scheduled, and we're going to have some very happy customers. I hear all the time how much everybody loves CityLink. They love our high-speed internet access. They love our speeds and that sort of thing. But this is going to take it to another level and be able to help us for not just today, but for decades to come.
Well, not only that, but the service is just tremendous. You call them, and maybe the next day they're there. And the city does a lot of extra things, a lot of amenities. I have daughters in other states, and they would never, their electric department and utilities would never think about picking up large items of trash. And we do that in the fall.
Yeah. We're very fortunate. Every single service that we have in the city, they provide, and we call it a service unmatched.
Yeah, I would agree.
We have that theme, just like here, theme is a match, we have a service unmatched. But they do a tremendous job because they take pride in their work, but they also go above and beyond what normal service would be, just as like what you had just mentioned.
Well, I also need to put a plug in for WCTV.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
other communities don't have such a communication with our citizens, and it doesn't matter where I go. People say, "Oh, I saw you. I saw you with the Durling Park, or I saw you somewhere else," and people watch.
Yeah, they sure do, and this is a wonderful way to, for example, get the word out. Not every person in the community is going to, go to a park. They may not live in this neck of the woods, or maybe they don't have children.
Right.
But here they can find out, oh my goodness, look at that beautiful park. And even though you're not a user, or maybe you don't have children or grandchildren using it, it improves the community. And people move to communities because of amenities such as this. They move to the community for their parks. They move to the community because of our community center, our senior center. they love Wadsworth because of what we have to offer.
And in the 5th and 6th grade building, you know,
Yeah,
we
that's
saw
a
that
coming.
downtown was getting a little old, and utilities were high. So Suber, Dr. Suber is involved in it,
Yeah.
but Andy Hill coordinated things, and we're building a brand new 5th and 6th grade building.
Yeah, and that seems to be coming right along. Talked to Dr. Hill, and it sounds like they're planning on that fall of next year, of
Right.
26, to be able to, or 25, I guess.
Yeah.
Fall of 25, to be able to have those kids in there, and what a wonderful new addition to our community as far as the way we educate our kids.
No question about it. We will be back with a second segment in just a moment. We're back with Mayor Laubaugh. We're here at Destination Playground, and I don't think we covered how did this land get received by the city.
Well, we're located in Memorial Park, and many years ago, and I don't know the year, but this property was actually donated by the Ohio Match Company.
Okay.
And that's, I think, another reason why kind of that match theme, because here it was donated by Ohio Match, and we've been enjoying this beautiful park. Really, it's our premier park, you know, that we've had
Sure.
for many, many years, and so kind of like another little nod to our history.
Right. Speaking of history, we had a big turnout for the parade.
Yes.
Match Company had the
Yes.
parade starting
Yes.
at the high school, and
Yes.
it was really hot, but
Oh, my
still so
goodness,
many
yes.
people showed up.
Yes. In fact, I'm always amazed because I'm in that parade every year, and I'm thinking, how many more people are going to come to this? It's just amazing. They just come from all over the place. And I'm one of those, I think I know a lot of people, and I'm like, I don't know all these people. They
Right.
come from afar, and
Right.
even from our own community.
It's just like our businesses and corporations coming. They come from surrounding communities, other states, because the word is out. Wadsworth is a place to be, isn't it?
It is. It's a place to be. You bet.
How about, is there other phases? I think I don't see much parking. Will parking be a part of it?
Well, you make a good point, because it looks a little rough outside of the playground, and so obviously we're very close to this playground. They have a little bit of punch list items next week that they'll be attending to, but it's pretty close to being finished. But outside of this, there's additional phases. So the next phase is really the package that includes our utilities, as well as our restrooms and our pavilions, and actually the splash pad. So as you might guess, we need extensive utilities to be able to service those. But in addition, they need to do all the site work to even prepare for that.
Sure.
And so there's a site work, utility work, and then the placement of the pavilions and restrooms and the splash pads. So that's all coming soon. We're hoping that's going to get started before we know it. After that, actually, then it's the parking lots. And so the parking lots are being reworked a bit, and then also extended a bit, and so that's going to be happening. And at the same time that the parking lots are being done, then there is going to be a network of sidewalk that's going to be completed, because we want to make sure that we can get from the courts to the playground to safety, all over the place. And so those sidewalks will be put in.
Speaking of sidewalks, I walk my dog early in the morning, and the sidewalks are being put in on Tackus, on the Park Street, South and North Park, and Lyman, and there isn't a street in town that I haven't seen sidewalks put in. What is behind that?
Well, we had a pretty extensive program this past year. Honestly, with an aging community, you need to make sure that you keep up with your sidewalks, because obviously they become trip hazards, and you want to be able to keep it a walkable community. And so we always try to have a sidewalk program, but this last one was pretty extensive. And then we've also had some additional, let's say, initiatives, to get some sidewalks in certain areas that needed sidewalks or improved sidewalks. And so we've made an emphasis in that, and we have also in areas that we've had some trees that, because of the root system, buckle up sidewalks. We'll take out those trees, and then that happens in the spring, and then this fall we will replant a tree. And many of the trees that were initially planted were not types that were trees that were necessarily good to be right next to a sidewalk because of the root system. Right. So it's being replanted with trees that have a better system, so that it doesn't disrupt the infrastructure nearby.
A lot of the residents really take pride in Wadsworth, a tree city.
Yes.
I mean, we have trees everywhere,
Yeah.
and it really does help. You know, just there's trees here, little shade. That
Yeah.
if kids want to go ahead and play here, it really sets our city apart from others.
It really does. We take great pride in that, and we have some really experts in our Parks Department. We actually have an arborist that is in our park system, and so we rely on his advice often. But it really does, I think, set yourself apart as far as a community, because we do have a commitment to that, and it really does beautify a road, a street, a park area. So yeah. Got some trees here.
Yeah, yeah, right here amongst the activities that the kids would be on. Some trees right here. That's fantastic. It seems to me like when we have mutual aid with our fire department, they help other communities.
Right.
It seems like a lot of people come in from surrounding communities to take in the Wadsworth playground
Yeah.
and all sorts of other activities.
Yeah, we do. We have a fair number of individuals that come from afar, and I think that's why we talked about it being a destination playground, because we recognize that not just Wadsworth residents, but residents from afar would come here to explore Wadsworth. And we have a lot of things to enjoy, because once they come to the destination playground, oh my goodness, they want to enjoy some refreshment somewhere. They'll get the ice cream cone over across the street, or maybe
Right.
they'll go downtown to have some dinner, or maybe up at the north end, wherever they might go. And so it really is, it helps with the vitality of a community to have amenities such as this.
It's interesting interaction with the mothers bringing children home. And I'm sure you were there a few years ago with
Yeah.
Mitch and Mandy. What can that do for a community? What can mothers talk about besides the kids?
Oh my goodness! This is going to be a place to be, I think, for a lot of people. But it's actually a place where you meet people. So when
Sure.
when Kaleidoscope was built, I met a lot of wonderful, amazing people, and they become my lifelong friends, because we had that common bond of children in the same age bracket or so, and you sit around and you're able to watch your kids going up on this big old thing here and be able to chat away, and so it really becomes a social opportunity, similar to what we were talking about with pickleball or tennis, that those that are not playing but they're watching, they're socializing, and then obviously you're having a great athletic opportunity when you're playing, so it really just adds to the overall experience.
And with your experience with your twins, what did they get out of it? What experiences did they have that helped them to go to kindergarten, first
Yeah.
grade, and up the road?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that, for example, independence is a big deal. We've always talked about that in our house. And when you're on a playground, you become independent. You beeline off, and the main thing is the mom or the dad needs to be able to, or the grandparents need to be able to track them down and be able to watch them. And so that, I think, is going to be a little bit easier here, because their things are spread out a little bit. But they develop that independence. They use their minds to start working to figure out, how am I going to get up on that thing, or how am I going to get down? Those are skills that they learn and develop as their mind, and of course their agility and that sort of thing, and keeping active. I think a lot of times you hear a lot of people complain or talk about how kids a lot are on phones and they're on their devices and that sort of thing. This is an opportunity that brings them outside to be able to get active and be able to enjoy being outside.
That seems to be a theme. The children here, pickleball at Durling Park, the brickyard,
Yeah.
planning there to get people out. And we're very lucky. We have sun and manageable temperatures a good part of the year.
Yeah, we really do. We do. In fact, I was just saying the other day, I thought, my goodness, I've been telling people how much I'm enjoying this weather, and I'm thinking, oh, Yale, Ohio's great weather.
No
Maybe
question
one
about
or 2 months they're a little bit iffy, but
Yeah.
pretty much we have some great weather.
And you're one of the leaders of the walking challenge.
Oh,
You and
that's
your husband
right.
Brian put us over the top a couple years ago. And I think the
Yeah.
goal walking challenge and
Oh.
Suprema Senior Center, 28,000
Yes,
miles.
crazy, which is amazing. But I tell you, that goal really makes people get going. They take that to heart, and it's amazing. Every year we just keep beating it, and they keep upping it more and more and more, because more people participate. But it's just phenomenal.
What can you say to the Wadsworth community about their suggestions? You sometimes take suggestions from the citizens and run with it. It may
Yeah.
take a little while, but you take them seriously.
Yeah. Well, I think, for example, this pickleball courts is one example because Wadsworth didn't have any pickleball courts. And so initially, how do you accommodate individuals that have that interest? Well, we allowed them to tape, the areas. And then it became we recognized that, you know what, they're serious. Okay, let's let them paint on these, on a couple courts. And then they kept saying, Mayor, we really need this. We really need this. We really need this. And I said, you know what? We're in the middle of a master plan for our parks. Just give us a little bit of time, and we'll figure this out. And we're preparing for it financially. We're preparing for it as far as getting consultants lined up. Things like that, especially large projects like that, they don't happen overnight. It takes time and energy, and it takes a lot of thought, and because we know that those courts are going to be here for decades. It's not just for this next 5 years,
Right,
it's for
right.
decades. And so we have to be very methodical and very, we have to be very cautious as far as how we move and proceed with it. But that's why I said, so that was a great idea. That was individuals, a couple pretty persistent ones that said, listen, we really need these. And we said, you know what, I think you're right. Give us a little time and we're going to get it done.
And some improvements here in Memorial Park. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people enjoy sitting on the benches and looking at the geese and the
Yeah.
beautiful pond there. Memorial Park is a treasure, isn't it?
It really is. We're very fortunate that we have this entire park. I mean, it's our, it's huge for us, a large park, but you really do. You can enjoy the serenity by the lake. You can walk down the Magnolia Way, I call it, or you can have a more active area. But it really is a place that you can enjoy.
Mayor Laubaugh, I learned a great deal. Thank you very much for the invitation to see Destination Playground, whose name is going to be changed. With people, get your
input.
suggestions in.
Yes.
Thanks for watching Bruce on the Loose. We'll have a very important show coming up. Thank you.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.